Hey guys, welcome back here to Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel and hanging with me a little bit. Always appreciate that. And guys, today I'm going to show you a cheaply made crankbait that doesn't cost much money, that catches a ton of fish. It is, I don't know what the deal is with it. It's just, like I said, it's a cheap crankbait. The components are cheap on it, but whatever about it, I've caught a ton of fish on it over the years. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish it, and just sort of go over some details with it. Definitely think it's going to add up to some fish for you guys. Also, guys, we're going to be talking about today, the cheap bait I'm talking about is the Bandit 200 crankbait. This thing's made by Bandit. It's been around forever, guys. Like I said, compared to a lot of the modern crankbaits, it's very cheaply made, but it is a fish catcher, unbelievable. I'll put it in my tackle warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys would like to try one there. And also, guys, quick reminder, you may have heard me talking about it yesterday. We finally came out yesterday with my new Blaukat Throwback football head jig. Living rubber, hand-tied skirt on my football head. You can see the football head there. Guys, this is the quality of the components on this jig, second to none. I'll have it in my tackle warehouse link if you guys would like to pick one up. We got 7 colors, 2 different sizes, but we've been working for about a year on this sucker. I absolutely love it, so that link will be in the description of the video too. Okay, a lot of you guys that follow the channel, you know that I've been with Megabass, you know, forever, and I love Megabass, and I love the baits they make, and I use all their baits, and I catch a ton of fish on their baits. But one bait I want to just be straight up with you that catches the fire out of fish, that's a cheaply made bait, doesn't cost much, is the old Bandit Crankbait, Bandit 200. Look at the thing, guys. It's a very simple bait. There's nothing really special about it. It looks like a lot of other crankbaits. It's got a lip very similar to a lot of other crankbaits with it. But there's something that Bandit did to this thing, and we talked about this before. What triggers a bass to bite, a lot of times you can't really identify it. There's something about the way this bait pushes water and moves in the water and displaces water and vibrates and wiggles, and the profile of the bait that the bass just really like. You can't explain it. I can't crawl into a bass's mind and, you know, ask them why they like a Bandit 200, but they do. They absolutely eat this thing up. So I sort of want to give you guys some tips and advice on when I like to fish it, as far as the situations I've done the best on it in today's video here. Okay, there's been 2 different scenarios where I've caught a ton of fish on the Bandit crankbait. I sort of want to lay both of those out here. The first situation is late in the pre-spawn, when that water temperature is like close to 60 degrees, but the fish aren't really spawning a lot. I can take that Bandit crankbait, especially in some type of a crawdad pattern, and I can get on those same type of banks that like I fish a wiggle wort on, like the chunk rock transition areas, put it on 8-pound test line with a spinning rod. I can get that thing down on a long cast with a spinning rod about 7 or 8 foot deep, and I've been able to catch a lot of good fish in that late pre-spawn period on that crawdad pattern, the crawdad pattern model here. Or this is the shad pattern here, but the crawdad pattern Bandit is well using the pre-spawn. The other situation is like right now in the late summertime when they start to get on a little bit smaller crankbait. This is when I go to some type of a shad pattern. The Bandit is a good bait to fish around both wood and rock. It's sort of one of those few baits that exist out there, sort of like that Megabass Super Z2, that it deflects off of wood pretty good, and it's really good around rock. And there's something about the hot water bass and tough fishing conditions love this thing. So in the summertime of the year, I'm fishing at a little bit different locations. What I'm looking for in the summer is dirtier water with this. I want to have water visibility, ideally around 12 or 15 inches, something like that, about a foot of visibility. And I'm cranking it in any of the off-colored water extremities of the lake, like the upper river portion, the backs of the creeks, fishing on whatever cover's available, rock transitions, bluff banks, flat or gravel banks. It works great around stump fields. If you guys have, like, you know, submerged wood or shallow submerged wood or logs or laydowns in shallow water, you can run this thing over the laydowns and the logs. It crawls over it pretty good, and bass just bite it. They really like it this time of year. Let me give you a prime example where I've caught the fire out of on it. In like a Grand Lake in Oklahoma, you got a lot of that type of cover. You got a lot of wood and rock mix when the water's a little bit lower in the late summer, and I can take this thing down at Grand Lake and fish those shallow laydowns and shallow logs and those flat rocky banks and just catch a ton of fish on them. Throw them next to a boat dock, anything in that off-colored water is going to really work. And when I'm fishing it on the off-colored water, I usually use it on a bait caster with 15-pound test, Seaguar and Vizex. But I just wanted to clue you guys in on this. If you've never seen the 200 Bandit, like I said, I haven't bought any in a few years. I don't know if they've improved the quality, but the ones that I bought before, like I've changed out the split rings and the hooks on this. A lot of the split rings and hooks that came on this were really cheap. Another thing that was cheaply made about the Bandit that you sort of have to mess with is the line ties. You can see there, it's hard to get one, or it was when I used to buy them. They may have improved it since then, but it's pretty hard to get the bait to run straight out of the box. If you get one that runs straight out of the box, it's worth its weight in gold, but you have to adjust them a little bit. And the problem with a crankbait that you have to adjust the line tie on is if you have a certain type of a line tie that is not seated really good, a lot of times when you try to twist or bend that line tie, it'll actually loosen up the seating, and it's always going back to where it was. So that's one problem that they've had in the past. But man, when I get a good one, guys, I just, you know, do anything I can to get it back without losing it. So anyway, guys, get you a couple Bandits there. Tackle Warehouse link in the description. I know it'll catch you some good ones. So hope it helps. We'll see you.